I'm Sawkill and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about a show that I'm obsessed with at the moment. It's the Yellowjackets. You've heard about it before on my channel. I promise this is gonna be the last time. I wanted to tell you about the books that I think are great reads and that you absolutely should read if you enjoyed the Yellowjackets and want something in the same vein. The Yellowjackets is a high-stakes survival TV show about a group of girls who are going to a football championship in a different state and whose plane crashes in the wilderness. We know that some of them survived because of the second timeline where they are adults already, but the things that happened in the wild with them, to them, the things that they did to each other are pretty much a big secret. And as the plot progresses, you realize that it wasn't the Girl Scout experience you'd expect. Hell indeed is a teenage girl, and if you're into that type of media, I highly recommend to check out the show. But if you've seen the show already, I have a few books to recommend. Let's start with isolation survival novels about groups. I want to recommend Wilder Girls by Rory. It's about a made-up infection that takes over a private school for girls on an island. So the whole island is quarantined, and throughout the years they develop a system that allows them to find food and to survive despite the threat of the wilderness. The interesting part of it is that the girls inevitably all get infected by tox. This is the name of the made-up disease, and those that survive it either develop new features or new abilities that are very common in nature. This book has elements of horror. It's very nature-based, body horror-based. I would say go for it if you're interested in fast-paced conspiracy type plots, if you're fascinated by the atmosphere of the Yellowjackets, because they do have a similar atmosphere. The ending is very ambiguous. Some people will love it, some people will not. I personally love an ambiguous ending because I love theorizing what actually happened myself. And it is also a Hell is a Teenage Girl type of story because it does follow teenage girls and their complicated dynamics. The next book also is a survival book. It's Freefall by Jessica Barry, but it's about a person surviving on their own in the wilderness. It still has two point of views and two timelines and a bunch of suspense, but it's slightly different because you don't get the same tension as with a group. I still really enjoy this, and I think it's a really good contender if you're looking for something similar. The book is about a young woman whose plane crashes in the wilderness. Her fiance and the pilot die, leaving her alone, but in her inner monologue she consistently expresses that she doesn't want to be found, and we don't know why. Her mother is devastated when she hears the news, but it's been a while since they've spent time together or talked. In her grief, the mother decides to investigate her daughter, how she lived before the plane crash and how she ended up on the plane in the first place. She starts digging into the years that they were not connected and realizes a lot of interesting and unexpected things. It is a classic mystery thriller if you're looking for a fun, quick ride. If you want this fun, quick ride to come with a survival type storyline, this is absolutely and undeniably for you. If you want to dive deeper into the mysterious, almost supernatural atmosphere of the Yellowjackets, and you don't care about the survival part of it as much, I would like to recommend The Sawkill Girls by Legrand. It's a very suspenseful novel with a bit of a supernatural twist. It's pretty dark and it's everything that I love. It's very similar in tone with the Yellowjackets in my opinion, and if you have not read this yet, I don't know what you're doing because I've recommended it so much on my channel. Sawkill Girls is about an island where young women disappear. The protagonist moves to the island with her sister and her mom that starts working as a housekeeper in a rich lady's house. The daughter of the woman that the mom started working for starts paying a lot of attention to the younger sister, and the older sister, the protagonist, realizes that their connection is weird and toxic and that she needs to intervene, but she's too late and her younger sister winds up dead, and she blames the other girl for it. She doesn't believe that it was an accident or a natural death, and she starts investigating it. This book is so dark and delicious. I love it. It has a really cool sapphic romance that is not ooey gooey and sweet and lovely. I love it. I highly recommend to read this book. Even if you don't love the Yellowjackets, highly recommend it. Another survival thriller that I really enjoyed, and I think Yellowjackets fans are going to enjoy as well, is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Feeney. It's both about surviving an outer threat and it's about surviving an inner threat as well. It's about a married couple that go away on a very remote vacation in the woods in the middle of the winter and that get stuck in the house. Not only some kind of a weird entity person is watching their every move and maybe is even intervening with their day-to-day as they are stuck in the house. It also is very obvious that they are a threat to each other because in both of their point of views they express that if this relationship is not going to work out, they are fighting all the time, this is the last chance for them to make up. They might harm each other. The best and the scariest part about this book is the suspense part. We don't really know what these people are capable of as we start with the book. If you love forced proximity, a snowed-in type of thriller, you will enjoy this. But I think the particularly interesting part about the story is that it has an inner and outer threat at the same time. The last book that I want to recommend, I can't in clear conscience call a survival story. It's a stretch to call it that, but it has very high stakes. And if you were particularly fascinated by the toxic female friendship between teenagers part of the Yellowjackets, which is a huge element of the story, you're going to enjoy this because it's literally that. The book is So Happy For You by Celia Laskey. It's about these two childhood friends that had chosen two different paths. One of them is a queer activist. She knows better than anyone else. She is against the marriage and heteronormative culture. And the second one always dreamed of becoming a mom and a wife. She's very pliable, she often doesn't have her own opinion, and it's been the point in contention in their relationship. It's an alternative universe contemporary book. The premise is that the economy plummeted in specific areas such as home ownership and anything that has to do with family. So the government decided to intervene and to make marriage more appealing to people with restrictive and mostly deranged measures. And one of the characters, you guessed it, is getting married. She asks the other one to be her bridesmaid, which is something that she doesn't want to do, but agrees to appease her friend. It's a very interesting novel because it took the wedding culture to extreme. Throughout the story, there are news of some people doing extremely dangerous rituals to ensure that their marriage is going to be strong and long, sometimes even murdering people to get what they want. So you get the drill. The wedding gets really cookie, the stakes are very high, as I've told you, and at the center of it is a relationship between these two women that are very different, that have a lot of baggage, and they're both pretty unlikable. I was aggravated for the majority of this book because of how annoying the characters are, but it's on purpose. So these are all the books that I wanted to recommend you if you watched the Yellowjackets and you enjoyed it and you want to read something similar. In the comment section, tell me if you know any other books that are similar to the Yellowjackets that you read and loved. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this and I will see you soon with another one, but until then, bye.